I was thinking about how if something were to happen and you don't have a will in place, that the state now has some power over what happens to your babies. So even if you personally like, I don't want to do a will, but I don't care about it. Do you care if someone else, other than who you decide to raise your child? When you realize that marriage is business, life is business, and death is business, your whole perspective on life changes.
If people know that there could be a chance that they're not waking up tomorrow, then the state has power over your children or a close loved one. And, they're put in the hands of danger. It could be dangerous because, a child can have a guardian that don't care nothing about them. But since the state made a decision, they miserable. Off of this one decision you could have stopped from writing down in a will.
Me and my wife, we down here when we first moved here, we were by ourselves. And we didn't have a will when we first moved here. And we were the only ones down here from our family. Well, my mother was here. But if we got into an accident and both of us was killed and my son was alive, we didn't have a will. We in a state we don't know nobody. We in a state we don't know nobody.
What you gonna do?
They not gonna send my child back to Ohio. They gonna put my child down the street somewhere.
And so I realized that we needed to put something in place. So we wrote up the will and got it set up to say that the custody of the boys would go to my mom and my dad in that scenario. Again, I had to get with a family lawyer to understand that, girl, this paper is real nice, it's real pretty, but it's a piece of paper and it doesn't have the bite that I needed to ensure that my children didn't get uprooted, right? So again, I'm 10, 11, 12 years old going through this scenario and watching these kids have to get separated in homes, again, because there was no will and there was no plan in place in the event that something did happen. And we culturally have done this thing. Sheila gonna take the babies and Jan gonna take this one and we're gonna do that and do that, but not going through the proper paperwork means that child doesn't get the resources that they need in order to be supported, right? So we just have to understand that these things need to be in place to make sure that those babies are protected.